Nothing like a nice black screen to start the stream. There we go.
There you go.
Here we are. Hello, Internet. We're doing a little something different today. We're going to play some cards.
Mm-hmm.
This deck is almost brand new. I've only opened it a couple times.
My deck is less new, but lots of fun.
But awesome. I think, yeah, I'm seeing my things right and not mirrored, and your things right and not mirrored.
Yep.
I've got my Blankenberg medieval playing cards.
Excellent. I've got my Adventure Time cards.
Yeah.
Are we needing jokers for this game, since I'm learning as we go?
It's literally just the game of war.
Okay,
so we
jokers
won't
are fine.
need jokers for now.
No jokers?
We'll go Psalms jokers.
Bye-bye, Ice King.
My jokers are some marionettes.
Oh,
yeah. I'm assuming you're actually watching the stream.
Oh, yeah, I've got it. I muted it so I didn't hear myself talk all the time.
I was just making sure I wasn't showing the camera cards that you couldn't actually see.
Gotcha.
Do a little... Ooh, these cards are Steve. Need to work them in a little bit. Let's see if I can do a Pharaoh. What's the trick to that again?
I have no idea. I just know how to shuffle them where you, like, fan them together, and I know how to shuffle them this way because one time my friend handed me his deck of Magic cards, and I went to shuffle them like that, and he's like, "Don't you effing dare." Apparently, you're not supposed to shuffle collectible cards in a way that can bend them.
These cards are quite stiff. But a Pharaoh is when you have your two halves of the deck and you essentially just like get them merged together one card at a time.
Mm.
I was practicing doing it one time and almost had it. I forget there's like a little trick to it. Like you have to kind of manipulate the cards in a certain way to get it to go. I just forget what it is. So obviously I need to watch the tutorial again.
Fair enough.
Either that or these cards are just way too stiff to make it happen. But I thought I remembered that the stiffer cards were better. But these have like, they for some reason have a bow to them, so that might be screwing it up too.
Messing up, yep.
Because I'm pretty sure when I was doing it before, it was with a much softer deck of cards. So it might be that stiffer, newer decks are better, but like to a point.
Gotcha. I feel like my mom is probably the best at shuffling cards in our family, and she says it's because when she was a kid, she had like tonsillitis or something and ended up in the hospital for a long time, and had nothing to do, so she learned how to shuffle cards.
Nice. My family just always played cards, so I don't think anyone ever taught me. I just like watched and figured it out.
Yeah.
So because I figured it out just like on my own, I'm pretty sure that the way I do it is just like slightly weird compared to the way other people do it because I've figured it out for my hands.
Yeah. Well, it works.
Yeah, as long as it works for my hands, that's what. And I figured it out in such a way that I actually don't need a surface to do it. My hands are the surface against which I'm shuffling.
That's kind of cool. Oh yeah.
It's fun.
Looks fun.
So, first things first here. We're playing a modified game of war. So,
Okay.
just like any game of war, we will be flipping our cards at the same time. So, turns happen simultaneously.
All right.
I'm just going to open my doc for the game here, just so as we're going along, if we come across things, I can actually write it down.
Gotcha.
Makes sense, right?
It does.
Come on. Game. All right. You know what? Let's make a new... We are going to make a copy of this.
Just in case anyone else is watching, no, I have no clue what he's doing. I can't see it. He just talks to himself sometimes.
It's true. I mean, I don't particularly want everyone to see like all my personal data in my Google Drive, so I'm not
I
sharing
mean,
that.
that's fair. Yeah, I can understand that.
I'm just making a document for rules is what I'm doing. All right. Delete. I said delete.
Deleted.
That cheated. All right. Rules. So I'm just going to start putting these like line by line, and we can reorder them if we need to.
Sounds good.
Both players draw and play a card at the same time. So the way that this is different and the modification is, instead of just we're playing, you know, one card against one card, we're going to have to imagine that we have like a board in front of us. What I'm thinking we can do, like just to start, is just imagine like a 5x5 grid. So,
Okay.
like if we're actually placing cards, you know, 5. So we each have sort of like 2 rows that are our territory, right? Like I'm just...
You said 5x5.
Yeah.
Oh, I get
So...
it now. Yeah.
So
Okay.
these, like the 2 rows closest to us are like our territory, and then there's like the no man's land row in the middle.
Okay.
So I'm just laying cards down just so we can get like a visual representation of kind of what the board, I'm trying to get the board, there we go, looks like.
I was trying to help.
Yes, it's very good help. We can just shuffle up those cards and put them back in our deck. So, there's 2 ways to win the game. So, grid, for now playing 5x5 default. So, the center, there's 2 ways to win. There's one is just like capture like your opponent's cards, just like in normal war. The other way to win, the other win condition, is the center column, the 0th row, is like your base. So if I manage to get like some good placement and good cards and can get up to your base, I can play cards to try to damage your base, and if I can kill it by doing, you know, however many hits to it, then that's the other way to win. So,
Okay, so take over all territory or destroy the base.
basically,
But you have to destroy the base to take over all territory?
nope. And it's not just taking over the territory. It's literally just like in war, making your opponent run out of cards.
Okay.
And so since we can't, like, because in normal war you're playing with one deck and it's just whoever can get the whole deck.
Yeah.
in this case, we're not going to be recycling cards. It's just if your card is destroyed, it gets discarded, and the winner stays on the board.
Sounds good.
So, unlike normal war, winner's card stays on board. Loser's card is discarded. So that leaves some room open for, like, you know, alternate rules where instead of it being like discarded, where you could potentially bring it back with some special card or something like that, you could also have rules where it's like
if you get your pawn across the board, you can turn it into a queen.
something like that. That would be another one. But I'm thinking, like, you know, like in normal games where you're discarding cards, like there's a discard pile, so you can discard it, and then you might be able to draw from the discard pile, or the card gets recycled back into your pile.
You think the word discard comes from cards?
I think so. I always thought, anyways, like it made sense to me.
It
but
makes sense. I just don't know the etymology.
It could be that it just started being used for cards because it sort of works.
Fair enough.
But I always thought that, yeah, it came from actual cards. So let's just play an actual game here. So
Okay.
the only
You
thing
lay
that
your first card on your base?
no, your first card can be laid anywhere in the first row.
In the first row. Okay.
Yeah, because you can't just lay it anywhere. You have to be like near home essentially.
Okay.
So, I mean, that's a good rule to write down. First card must be laid in first row. Definitely leads to like some strategy where you might want to like lay cards like not in front of your base to protect it, but like lay it off to the side to try to like have some strategic pathing.
Yes.
But yeah. So the only other thing that's different is you have to pick, obviously, where you're going to play the card. Like you can't
see what the card is
and then decide, oh, I'm going to play it here. So we're each picking a cell essentially, like a spot, and then once we're both agreed, then we flip. So 1, 2, 3, flip. So I'm gonna go like dead center to start.
I was going to do the same.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, flip. So obviously our cards are not near each other. Nothing happens yet.
Okay.
So the first few plays are a little bit like chess, where there's probably not going to be anything happening because we're just establishing a board.
Yes.
So next, I'm going to play next right in front of it.
Okay.
So
I'm going to go to
literally once you have a card established, then you can play it.
Yeah.
So
Around.
once a card is played, any adjacent, so there'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 spots. Any adjacent 8 spots are legal. That's the gaming term for another play / card.
8 spots?
Yeah, because this is the middle. Like if this was in the middle of the board, it has 8 spots around it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Sorry, if you're playing from the back, though, it only has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, well, on the board
Okay.
there's going to be a wall there, so in this case there would only be the 5. But if it was here, then it would be 8.
Right. So can you attack diagonally then?
That's one of the things I wanted to play test.
Okay.
So for now, like, we could say that like war happens once cards are in front of each other, or war happens like once, you know, we get to a spot where the no man's land is the only place we can play, so we have to start like picking the same spots. But I think it makes more sense to have, at least to start, have like, if we're playing in front of each other, then a war is going to happen.
Right.
Because then we would want to, you know, be a bit strategic. Like, yeah, sure, you might want to rush and try to capture the middle like in chess. But if we're both rushing to capture the middle, then we're going to start encountering war right away, so I might want to start going off to the side.
Right. Yep, makes sense.
So
you're flipping that card?
Yeah, I'm going right here.
Okay, I'm going to go right here.
3, 2, 1. So you're going up to your right.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Which would be my left.
Yes.
Okay, so exactly how it shows on the camera then. So that's
Yes.
handy.
Yep.
All right. So I'm going to go straight for the middle then.
Okay. And I'm going to go directly in front of my square.
Okay. So this then would mean a war is going to happen.
Yes. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, sorry, I didn't count. So your card stays, my card is discarded.
Yes.
Okay. So this is where it's slightly different than war.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess theoretically I could start just like trying to play cards in the middle and
Repeatedly, yep.
until I
just pick until you get one that's going to beat my card.
Yeah.
Which luckily was a jack, so that might take a while.
Yeah. What's the card next to it?
8.
An 8.
Sorry, upon realizing this, I probably should have picked cards that are a little more plain and easier to see the pips on.
No, well, mine aren't exactly. Well, I guess mine at least have pips. So, oh, and just to make sure we're both on the same page, aces are high.
Okay, good to know.
Which apparently, that is the official rule of war.
That's the way I always played it, so works for me.
Also, the other thing that I'm realizing too is like, in person, we're more or less having to point at a spot to play.
Yep.
Whereas, really, you would not want the other person to know where you're going to play.
Right.
Which will be a lot easier in, like, an online version where you can just like, okay, I'm picking this square. Are you sure?
We could stop
yes.
telling each other where we're going to play.
It's true. Yeah, I guess we were just sort of doing that for.
As the board was being set up.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
So, each player picks a cell to play. Once both have confirmed, then card is played on those cells. So this is where we'd get into like I guess so far we actually haven't had like the war. War is when like you have same cards and you have to flip up 3.
Yeah.
So another sort of alternate rule that we could go with is if we both pick the same cell, then a war happens.
That could work too.
But, I mean, it also works just as well that high card wins.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Okay.
let's... Do you have your spot picked?
I do.
Me too.
1, 2, 3. You did not go on 3.
I mean, I did when I heard you say 3.
Okay.
So I went...
Your video, there's a bit of delay on your video.
Oh, gotcha. So you're 8.
Okay.
Go that way.
What is yours?
That's a queen, sorry.
Ooh. Okay, no worries.
I should actually show these face cards because they're pretty.
Quite, yes.
It's half the reason
that
I bought the
nun?
deck. It looks like a nun, yeah.
Yeah.
And in fact, it doesn't just look like a nun. I'm pretty sure it is a nun.
Well, I'm having none of that because you just kicked my ass.
So, okay, now, do we want to do attacking on diagonal? Because we can place cards on diagonal.
What if we play through... Well, here's the thing. If you can't attack on diagonal, it's going to move a lot slower. But if you
Yep.
can attack on diagonal, that means theoretically there are 5 cards that can attack your base instead
Yep.
of one.
There's only 3 cards that could attack your base. Because the row 0 contains only the base. You can't place cards in row
Oh,
0.
the entire row 0 is base? I thought just the center place in row 0 was the base.
Yeah, the center place in row 0 is like the base that you can attack, but you can't place any cards in row 0. Row 0 is a dead zone.
Okay.
Imagine there's mountains there, which is literally
So
how I've been designed.
there is no... you don't really play cards to the side then, do you?
Of the base?
Yeah.
No. Here, I'll show you just an example.
I was picturing like a 5x5 grid, but really it's more like a 3x5 grid with an additional square.
No, it is.
Or an
It's
additional-
a 5x5 grid with an additional square. I'll share my screen here real quick.
If that's the case, you shouldn't have been able to attack me yet, because there should still be another row.
No, because this is in front of my base, so row 1, 2, 3. And you've played 1, 2.
Oh, I played a card on my base in the 0 row.
No, you can't.
Well, I didn't understand that.
Because you asked, do we start on our base? And I said no.
Okay, so for my edification, I'm going to put this joker where my base is.
Great.
Just so I know where it is.
Sounds good.
Sound good?
Yep.
Okay.
Let's share my screen here. So if you look at the stream, this is kind of some examples of
Possible configurations?
yeah. So this is the basic regular board that I've envisioned. It's a
Okay.
5x5 board, and then there's also a base. So
Right.
around the board is a dead zone. There just happens to be a base that you can attack in the center. Does that make sense?
So what's the value of the base?
What is the value?
Mm-hmm.
It's another win condition. Or do you mean like what's its health?
What's its health?
I just said 20 for now. That can obviously be changed.
So it can withstand like 2 10 attacks and then it falls.
Yeah, we can either do something like that where you count out the cumulative damage of the cards,
Mm-hmm.
or that you have to get 10 hits on it.
Oh, like you have to hit the base 10 times.
Yeah. Doesn't matter what card you play, you just have to hit it 10 times.
Interesting.
So let's see. Let's go back to our rules here. So
Mhm.
base health equals 20 to destroy base. Question mark. 10 or yeah, what did I say? 10 hits?
Mm-hmm.
So you could do any arbitrary number, like 10, 20,
Mm-hmm.
whatever, 15 if you wanted to do that. But we'll say 10 direct hits. 10
10 is
hits
probably going to be lots given the
with
number
any,
of cards in the deck.
yeah, 10 hits with any card, question mark, or cumulative damage from cards, face value.
So
Face
taking the
value.
corners of the grid, looking at the regular board, really doesn't do much for you as far as being able to defend the base.
Yeah. Which is why I started thinking of like, okay, maybe this board would be good as a default board because it takes the corners out of play, which makes things a little more interesting, and
Mhm.
it gets rid of the center, which means nobody can control the center.
Yeah. Makes sense.
You could also do like a quick game where it's literally just a 4x4 with no corners,
Mm-hmm.
and then you can only have 2 spots where you can attack the base.
And then 4 places you can attack the base, but the base is 2 cards wide.
Yeah. So this would be like a really quick game, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're getting across quickly and you're attacking the base quickly.
Yeah. Okay.
But I think this will be like
the default.
Kind of the default
Mm-hmm.
for now, unless our playtesting discovers something else.
I just think we're going to be playing the center of the board a lot. Like, I'm not sure how much use those corners are going to get, but
yeah,
let's play through it and see what happens.
For sure. So cumulative damage from cards face value. Let's see. So, 2 ways to win. Either cause opponent to discard all cards, or destroy. I can spell destroy base.
If it helps, no one else can see what you're typing, so we don't know if you're making typos or not.
That's true. So we're saying the base's health is 20. There's a couple different options for destroying the base. The other thing is that, so, like, once I've drawn a card and placed it, like if I'm able to have placed it next to your base and stay there and attack your base,
yep,
I feel like it needs to get discarded after that. Otherwise, I'm just going to be like, oh, well, I got an ace. I'm going to just sit here for the next 10 turns.
Damaging your base because you can't actually play something to attack me.
Yeah. So, I mean, unless you happen to get an ace and then could spark a war.
But where do you play the ace?
Next to
You
it.
can't play it. But what if you've already filled both those spots?
So, like assuming you're... Here, I'm going to switch it back to the camera.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, assuming this is your base, and I've, like, say, played an ace here.
Yep.
That it means that in order for this to have played here, I've either played here and destroyed a card of yours, and then I was allowed to play here, which means that you have to have a card here.
Yep.
So if one of your cards is here, but I'm not attacking it,
I guess what I'm seeing is, okay, I've got my card played to the side.
yeah,
Right? So
yeah,
let's say my card is here, your card is here, and
I think your camera's
my
frozen.
card is here. Yeah, it's not frozen on Discord, it's just frozen on the stream for some reason. There we go.
Okay, I think it's just because I hadn't clicked on the window in a while, and it was like,
Gotcha.
oh, well, clearly you're not paying attention to me then.
Okay, so in this situation where this is your card, if your card is attacking,
Yep.
and the card isn't used in the attack and discarded, what is going to end up happening is I've already filled the only 2 places I can attack you from.
Unless we're attacking from a diagonal. But then, like, again, let's say I place an ace there, and you don't get an ace.
Mm-hmm.
So now that card is surrounded, can't do anything. So
I think it'll work better if the card you attack with is discarded.
yeah, or
And if
and or, so we could say that card that attacks opponent's base is then discarded. The other thing that because we've described one single situation where we're going to get it in like sort of a stalemate.
yes,
There's definitely going to be other situations that will
yeah,
happen where we're just kind of stuck. So, I think we need to have a rule that if no other legal plays, you can replace one of your cards and discard the original card.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Or
Because then you. But if
So-
you allow them to, if you allow that to happen outside of only when there are no other legal plays, what's going to end up happening is people are going to try to keep upgrading cards that they're using to defend. Right?
yeah, if you
So
allow
it
it
can
outside
only
of
be-
legal
yeah.
plays, yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I specifically put it that way. Otherwise, people are,
Mhm.
well, I'm just going to keep playing in the same spot.
Yeah.
So for a situation like that, would your original card be discarded, or would it be recycled back to the bottom of your deck? Because it hasn't been destroyed; it's just been replaced.
Recycled. It would be recycled.
Replace one of your cards, and
I also was just looking at the way the camera's going here, and I'm actually going to play backwards so that our cards are matching up.
no,
So the-
it was working. We're going towards each other.
Okay.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm playing towards the screen, and you're playing towards me.
Yes.
But on the actual
Mm-hmm.
camera, we're
Yeah.
playing away from each other. Well, you're playing towards the
Yes.
bottom, and I'm playing towards the bottom.
Yes.
Okay.
So you should play towards the top, and I should play towards the bottom, so that it looks better.
Yeah. I'm just gonna see here. Transform. Did that work?
I'm not
Oh,
seeing
whoops.
your.
I have to be on the right camera. Hey! Boop! There we go.
Hey, there we go.
That's
Okay,
fun. We have fun.
we do.
Okay.
It'll just make it easier for people to follow
Yeah.
what exactly is happening.
Oh, but now I need to also flip it horizontally.
Why?
Because this card, this is my left.
Oh, I see. And this is my right.
Yeah.
Also,
Here.
I'm frozen again.
There we go.
Oh, no, I'm not. There we go. Okay. So, right
So-
for me.
Yeah. So now my left should be facing your right, which it is.
Yep.
So right now, this is the center of the board.
Okay, so if I move. Nope, I'm moving the wrong way. I need to move this way a little bit.
Yeah.
There.
So, sorry, this is the dead center of the board. I mean, this is the center row.
Yeah. Because I can't. There'll have to be a bit of compromise here because I can't put cards in your row.
Yeah, we'll just have to know, like, okay, this is where.
Yeah, this is where stuff goes. Okay.
I'm just trying to get my camera a little bit.
Wait, was my king on this side then? Sorry, I moved stuff around to demonstrate.
It was originally.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. There we go. That's where. That's the way it should be because you attacked my 8, which was right here.
Yep.
Okay. Perfect.
No camera. It's not supposed to be the beard cam. It's supposed to be the card cam.
And I just decided to turn my base card upside down and sideways to make it very clear it is not a card in play. It's just representing the base.
Yeah, I think if you have it, like, with the back showing, that's perfect.
Okay.
Like, you don't need to turn it sideways if you don't want to, is my point.
All right. Base.
Base, how low can you go?
All right. So where were we?
We were talking about the base.
The base.
How low can you
Treble.
go? And, oh, right, and we were saying, and recycle the original card to the bottom of your deck. All right. So yeah, we had got started on this topic of conversation talking about attacking diagonally because right
Yes.
now my
You
queen is diagonal to your jack.
Yes. So I guess the question is, if the queen has already attacked the 8 and we're playing on the diagonal, do you in the same turn get to attack the jack as well?
No. So
Okay.
it's one play, one attack per turn for sure. So let's
Right.
um, one play, one attack per turn. I mean, of course, that leaves room open for special fun rules where, um,
Certain cards have area attacks.
yeah, area attacks or allow multiple attacks or,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. Okay.
All right.
I'm unhappy with my camera position after I started fucking with it. Should have just left it alone. Here.
Looks fine to me.
It did look fine, is that what you said?
It looks like either way, I can see your whole space.
There we go. That's better. I like that
Okay.
better. Okay.
All right.
So the queen has attacked the 8. That's its like turn is done.
So on your next turn, we both have to flip a card.
Yep.
Do you then get to choose which card attacks of the 2 cards?
Good question. So like
See, in like regular war, if you flip 2 cards, the one card is discarded or put into the other person's deck,
Yeah.
but both cards end up being recycled.
so let's just play something out here for a second. I'm
Okay.
going to play in front of your king.
Okay.
You play in front of my queen.
Okay.
So 3, 2, 1, flip. Okay. So I would say in this case that they both die.
Yeah.
Like they're both discarded. So,
Yep.
but so each, so there's one play per turn.
Yep.
So we need to. So each card only gets one attack per turn.
Yes.
So each
So-
player plays once, but each card can potentially have an attack. So
Okay, so if that's the case then, and that just happened, because I was attacking your queen with my 2,
yeah,
and you were attacking my king with your whatever,
yeah.
does that mean your queen still gets an attack this turn?
No, because, or I should say, each card gets one battle, or gets to participate in one battle per turn. So the queen has participated in a battle. Doesn't matter
Right.
if it won or lost. It doesn't
Right.
matter if it attacked or defended. It's done.
Okay, so let's try another one.
Yeah,
I'm going to play ahead of my jack
yeah. So right here.
to attack your second row,
Yep.
and your queen is going to attack what? The jack? Or do you have to flip a card then? And I guess the question is,
it depends on where
once
to play,
a card,
right?
well, I guess. Okay, so let's try this out. So 1, 2, 3.
I guess I hadn't picked a spot yet, but
Yeah.
so I'm going to specifically not play here so that we don't invoke any extra
A war. Yeah.
or any extra special things. Because I
Yeah.
think what we had determined is just if 2 cards are played on the same space.
It's a war.
No, it's regular, like high card wins.
Oh, right. Yes.
So
Okay.
I'll specify if each player chooses the same place, same cell to play, it is still high card wins.
Okay.
So let's just go for now. So let's say, since we've been placing on diagonals, let's say we can also attack on diagonals.
Okay.
So a few things could happen here. Like I could choose like I think like okay, I want to keep controlling the center. I'm going to play here or here.
Okay.
Or I might want to like play defense and play here or here.
Mm-hmm.
So if we're attacking on diagonals, theoretically, you could have any number of cards attack this card.
Yeah.
Which
you could have up to 8 cards attack it.
Yeah. Which, I mean, it's, I don't mind that.
Okay. All right.
Because, like, let's say I do have 8 cards around there, and you're like, you know, no pain, no gain, or like big risk, big reward, and you play an ace, and every single one of my cards is lower than an ace.
You hold the middle.
Well, no, like if you play an ace, because an ace is high.
Yep.
So if I had a bunch of 2s, or like, you know, 2s and 3s and 4s, theoretically, the ace would kill all of them.
That's what I mean about area effect, though.
Yeah.
So, like, in this case, I played my jack here.
Yeah.
If it can attack multiple cards, that means it has attacked your queen and your 8 simultaneously.
Oh, yeah, I guess that.
So
9. We're back to that rule that each card can only participate in one battle.
Which then means, do you choose which card is being attacked?
Yeah, so in that case, you could say, like, okay, which card do you want to defend?
Right.
So,
so then you could say the queen.
Yeah, so that I don't lose my defense here.
Right.
Which is kind of, like, it's whatever, because the ace didn't lose the battle, so it's still going to stay here.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I like that.
Okay, so in this particular play, where you still need to play a card.
So, yeah, I'm just going to play here just for funsies.
Okay. Okay, so there's a jack there now.
Yeah, so this would...
so I get to... so you get... Does the defender get to choose which card is being attacked, or does the attacker get to choose which card they're attacking?
I think the defender gets to choose. I just want to place this jack somewhere where it's not going to invoke a war, because we don't... I just don't want to deal with that. Right
no,
now.
That's fair. Okay, so...
I'm just going to put it over here next to my queen.
Okay, so I have attacked your queen, or I have attacked with the jack, and either the 9 or the queen can defend.
Yeah. So if opponent places card next to multiple defender...
Well, you type this out. I just need to run change the laundry. Yeah. Right back.
Yeah, sounds good. Luxie, what are you doing, Luxie? Luxie, kitty, 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 kitty. Luxie, come over here, Luxie. Hi, Luxie. Oh, you're paying the cat tax for us. Thanks, Luxie. This is Lux, everybody. So, if player 1 places a card next to multiple of player 2's cards, player 2 gets to choose which card defends. I think that makes sense. Luxie, 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 what you doing, Luxie? You being a bad girl, Lux. Ow, ow. You think you got it, oh, you think you got it, but got it, just don't get it till there's nothing at all. We can get together, oh, we can get together, but separate's always better when there's feelings involved. If what they say is nothing is forever, then what makes love the exception? So why oh why oh why oh why oh why oh why are we why are we so in denial when we know we're not happy here? Y'all don't wanna hear me. Y'all just wanna dance. Hey, yeah. Oh, oh. Hey, yeah. Oh, oh. Don't wanna meet your daddy. Just want you with my caddy. Don't wanna meet your mama. Just wanna make you come. I'm just being honest. I'm just being honest. One, two, three, my baby don't mess around because she loves me so, and this I know for sure. But does she really wanna, but can't stand to see me walk out the door? Don't try to fight the feeling, cause the thought alone is killing me right now. Thank God for Mom and Dad for sticking two together, cause we don't know how. Come on! Please don't sue us, Outcast.
Hello.
Hey, yeah. I was just treating.
I'm gonna. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say I'm thinking that probably gonna need to wrap this up in like 10 to 15 minutes.
Oh, yeah, no worries.
For today. But,
I was just treating the fan base to some Hey Ya karaoke.
Fair enough.
It wasn't great.
Uh-oh.
I'm no Andre 3000, I'll say that much.
Fair enough.
I'm just being honest.
Okay, so we've played. Now, The jack has attacked. Which card is the jack attacking? You said defender chooses.
Right. So if I choose the queen, then I win essentially.
Yes.
So
the jack is discarded.
that would be the thing to do, I would think.
Yep. That also provides me with an interesting bit of understanding strategy, because if I wanted to attack your 9 with my card, it would actually make more sense for me to not attack the center, but attack one over where the queen can't defend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Player 1 places a card next to multiple of player 2's cards. Player 2 gets to choose which card defends. Yeah, I think that works so far.
So far.
If there's any like loopholes or anything that comes up, we can stop those up later.
Yep. Okay.
Okay.
You want to do a couple more moves just to see what happens?
Sure.
Right.
Got your spot picked?
And it has to be adjacent to one of my cards, right? But
yes.
Can it be diagonally adjacent?
Yeah, because that's how I had played my queen in the first place. Yeah.
Right, that's right. Okay. All right. Ready?
Yep.
1, 2, 3.
Ooh! Ooh, yeah! I promise you can watch the VOD. I did not stack the deck.
What did you play?
An ace. That's an ace.
Oh, okay.
The ace is very pretty. I'm going to show it off.
So ace has the center.
Yeah.
Is ace attacking the jack or the king?
Defender gets to choose.
Well, if that's the case...
If that's the ace.
I'm going to say the jack.
Makes sense.
Keep the higher card in play for now.
So, Kate, ready for our next play?
I am, yes.
Count her down.
1, 2, 3.
Lucky play. Again, promise I was not stacking the deck.
I'm assuming that's some sort of queen.
That's a king. Again, we'll show off the pretty... You should be showing off your pretty face cards, too, because the Adventure Time cards are awesome.
They are. Here's my king. Yep, upside down.
Nice. I love it. So, here's the opposite. Player 1, we'll just keep the nomenclature the same.
Yep.
Player 1, I'm just going to copy the... So, the rule was if player 1 places a card next to multiple of player 2 cards, player 2 gets to choose which card defends.
Yes.
So, I think in a similar situation, if player 1 places multiple cards next to one of player 2's cards,
player 2 gets to choose which card defends.
yes,
From which?
or which card attacks.
Oh, okay, so now I'm choosing
Which
whether the king
of
is
player
attacking.
1's cards attacks. Yeah, so if
'Cause
player
right now I'm
1,
attacking on 2 fronts, right?
right?
Or
So
attack, yeah.
So here you've played a card to which, if you're player 1, you've played a card next to multiple of me player 2's cards, so I get to choose which card defends.
Right.
If we look at it, here's the exact opposite scenario here, where if we say I'm player 1, and I've played multiple cards next to a single one of your cards, then you get to choose which one of my cards you want to attack.
Okay. So in this case, I'd want the king to attack my king and try and win the war.
Exactly. I think that's good. So essentially, it's always giving the person in the defensive position always has the advantage.
Makes sense.
So like, we've got 2 battles to decide here. So your jack is facing my jack and my queen. I don't want a war, so I'm going to say my queen defends.
It's a 4.
Oh, sorry,
it
a 4.
really doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Sorry, I thought you said you had a jack there.
No, sorry, that was last turn.
And it has pretty art, so
Okay,
I assumed it was a face card.
No, fair. They all have pretty art.
Yeah.
This deck. So the 4 is gone.
Yes. So now we need to resolve this battle here.
Yes. So we flip the third card, right?
Yeah, so 1, 2, 3. So 3 cards are face down.
1, 2, 3. Okay.
So essentially, these cards are getting recycled directly back to the bottom of your deck.
Okay.
So you burn 3 cards. So recycle
Burn 3 cards.
So
Yep.
so let's say, in case of war, 3 cards are recycled to bottom of deck. Then 1 card is flipped to attack.
Okay.
So, and then flip your card. Boo. What do you got there?
An 8.
I got an 8.
Do it again.
Nice. So, recycle 3 cards.
I'll show you my 8 while you're doing that.
Nice. And flip. I think I lost because I think I saw a jack there.
I played a jack.
So all 3 of these cards of mine are now discarded.
Okay, and what happens with my stack of cards here?
Which
Which one stays? Or do you now have to fight through 3 cards to get that spot?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
So once war is resolved, the winners... So do we want to say that the original card stays or that the new top card stays? Because, like, just for example, let's say that my last card... Because you're not really in much of a disadvantage there because you're going from a king to a jack. But, like,
Yeah.
in my case, where I was going from, like, a king to a 7... You know, that would be a pretty big disadvantage.
Mhm.
So, like, but it doesn't really matter because, like, if our cards here were 2s,
Mhm.
just for example. So, but we need to decide if we want.
I think if you have to leave the top card, it would create a more fluid board.
If you have to leave the top card,
Yeah.
the winners.
Because after winning, you know, it might be more of a Pyrrhic victory that way.
Yeah.
Right?
The winner's last played card
And
remains
then the other 2 would be recycled, not
Yeah.
discarded.
remains in the cell. The old cards, because as we just demonstrated, it's possible to have a good old multiple war. The old cards are recycled to the bottom of the deck.
Okay.
Of the player's deck, I'll be specific here.
Yep. I say we do one more turn, and then I should probably wrap it up.
Okay.
Of course, since we have since we have the VOD, we can set up the board again as we had it to continue.
Yeah, we could. Oh, another rule I just realized here. Like, I can't play on your jack. That cell is occupied.
Yes.
Yeah, so, but we just haven't written that down. So I'm just going to...
Now your camera's frozen.
I think I'm just holding very still.
Oh.
Cannot
Oh yeah, I saw your reflection move.
play a card on an already occupied cell.
Mm-hmm.
And then that our rule about if there's no other legal plays, then you can replace one of your cards. So those 2
Yes.
still work together well.
Yep.
Okay. Got your spot picked.
Yes.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
So I'm gonna play. I'm moving into your territory. So this would be,
Beside my jack here, right?
and whatever is right in front. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's the center.
And, yes. Whereas I've moved into the center, but on the flank.
So because your jack was here, so you're next to my 10.
I am. What 10? No, I'm 2
Oh,
spaces
sorry.
over.
So
There's like.
so your jack is here. Your 10 is here.
My jack is in my second row.
Yeah, here.
My 10 is
There.
one over. Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, so you've played into my territory, and you played a what?
A 6. Just a
A
plain
6.
old 6. Nothing special.
Well, I will defend with my jack then.
Right. 6 is discarded. It dies. And this is just a placeholder for your 10. None of my cards are around it.
Okay, sounds good. Makes sense to me.
Okay. Again.
Yeah, we'll do one more here.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Oh, I can't do that.
Where'd you try to play?
Nowhere near any.
You tried to play behind my jack?
Yeah. Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I'd already...
Yeah. So my 4 is attacking either your jack or queen.
Yeah, okay, so it automatically loses.
And you're attacking up the center with a what?
That's a queen, another queen. This looks to be like some sort of a... And it sort of looks like maybe like a church assassin. The card in person is also very dark. It's not just the camera.
Yeah. Huh.
Here, let's see if we can get some... a nice bright white light on it. Also, my camera is focused down here on the desk, not...
Yes.
But
Seems like we need a ring light for our... This is what
Yeah. Yeah, I just made do by putting a pure white screen up and then using that as a bounce light.
Makes sense.
So, I am entering your territory.
With a queen.
And I can't actually see what you have there, but it doesn't matter because you get to pick your defender.
Yeah, so I've got a 5, a 6, and a jack. So, all things considered, I'm going to let the 5 eat it.
Yeah, I think that's a good strategic move.
All right. I think we better leave it here for now, though.
Okay.
So.
Sounds good.
Yeah, when I have a moment, I'll let you know, and we can either pick this up or, yeah, you let me know if you've discovered anything new.
Sounds good. I'll plop my cards over here because, as you said, we can just look at the VOD and see what our cards were.
Sounds good.
Bye, Internet.
Bye, Internet.
The end.